Okay. So what I am trying to tell you here is that the whole idea of creativity is not very clearly understood. So it surprises me when Ken Hurst, our friend whose book we are referring as textbook in this course, makes some very funny statements in his textbook. The whole issue of creativity is not so simple to handle, as we have discussed in the preceding discussion. It's a question which either does not have a clear answer. We don't know what creativity is. If you ask me to define creativity, I can't. Let me ask you one question which I wanted to ask. Can you tell me precisely the difference between creativity and intelligence? Or in other words, can we say that these both are same? Creativity and intelligence. Are creative people intelligent? Intelligent people creative? Vice versa? What is the relation between creativity and intelligence? Creativity, intelligence. What is the difference?
Creativity on solutions which are already found. And creativity is something that's formulated in a new way.
So creativity is finding new solution.
Yeah.
Intelligence is
Something that's
it's already there, so you work around and do something more. Okay, anything else? Quickly.
So intelligence is what you read, you can understand fast. That's called intelligence. And creativity is to think of something new.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Nice. Anything else? Yeah.
finding a solution is intelligence, whereas you find it in different ways. That's creativity.
Creativity. Okay. So is the idea somehow among all of you is that creativity is freedom, intelligence is following rules. Following rules is intelligence, breaking rules is creativity. Good, right? Well, yes, actually the reverse of this is true. The actual meaning of the term creativity, creato, which is derived from the Greek word techno. Techno has been the root for two words in English, technique and technology. The earlier use of the word creativity had its roots in creato, which necessarily means following the rules. Creativity means following rules. Let me give a solid example. I am conversant in classical music, but I think the same rules apply even for hard rock, metal rock, death rock, acid rock and all that. In classical music across the globe, there are fixed rules. I can't sing Rag Bhairavi the way I want it. Rag Bhairavi means there is a framework. Take classical dance. There is a formal process. Don't we say that is creative? Can somebody dare to say singing classical music or performing classical arts is not creativity? How do we equate this duality? Following rules is there, but still we are saying it is creative. How do we equate this? Because we seem to contrast this. How? There is duality principle, mutual exclusivity. On the one hand, there is fixed rules, we have to follow that, but still we seem to claim that it's creative. How? Yes?
Say it's your interpretation. Maybe you are singing and the other person is singing may not be the same way.
How? No, it's the same.
Interpretation. It's your interpretation.
How? What is that interpretation?
With your thought.
Exactly.
Input.
It manifests from my experience and my understanding of what it means. Exactly. So, the point is that this is very typical of Indian philosophy again. Western philosophy does not understand that two contrasting things can work together. See how Westerners think, the Western thing. For example, I can say what George Bush always used to say. George Bush used to say, you are either with us or you are our enemy. Right? It's mutually exclusive duality principle. You should be our friends. If you are not our friend, you are our enemy. Indian philosophy is not that. Indian philosophy is, you can be my friend. You need not be my friend. That does not mean you are my enemy. No. If I say that this bottle is not good, in Indian philosophy, it does not mean that this bottle is bad. They are not mutually exclusive. Not good does not mean bad. Not good is in a state itself. It can be good and bad at the same time. In Western philosophy, we can't understand this. There is 0, there is 1. Computers, there is 0, there is 1. Not 0 means 1. Not 1 means 0. Not so in Indian philosophy. Idu, computer science only we have introduced this. This is called fuzzy logic. Fuzzy logic. Western countries have failed to understand fuzzy logic. They can't understand this at all. Therefore, they have developed their own way of identifying artificial intelligence. It's called neural networks. We here in the Eastern world, we have developed fuzzy logic. Because we can understand that principle, they can't. So, can you follow the rules and still be creative? We say yes. Why can't? It's very Indian in its thinking. So, what am I trying to say is, creativity is not simply going out of all established rule and doing something new. Yes, that is creativity. But following rules also, doing something own within that framework is also creativity. We should not reject it, because the rules framed are nothing but the results of someone's hard work. Somebody has developed those rules because somebody has tried it and said, okay, this is good, this is not good. What is wrong in following that? In arts, in music, if we follow, in science and technology also we should follow. In science and technology, creativity is interpreted in a very different way. In science and technology, new inventions are not done simply like that, breaking all the known rules. We build on the known rules. Make a small improvement to the known rules, that is creativity. Don't reject whatever is there. In fact, in the textbook there are various techniques to improve creativity. How can one improve his creativity? How can someone be more creative? Whatever may be the field you are in, business, economics, literature, science, everywhere people want you to be creative. That is the main difference between humans and machines, right? What is the main difference between humans and machines? We are creative, they are not. How to be creative? How can I improve my creativity? How? I want to improve my creativity. What to do? Please advise me. Self-creativity. Self-creativity. How? Yes. Again. Come again. Okay. Whatever you want to do, just go ahead. It's your life. Fine. But that does not give me a way to improve. Whatever I feel, if I go on speaking, I may land in jail. I may hurt someone's sentiment, and that case may be booked against me, and I may go behind bars. Can you tell me proper techniques? Like, for example, if I want to improve my physical body. I may go to a gym, I may do aerobics, like that. Solid process which can guarantee to improve my creativity. Mental exercise, something like that. What can improve my creativity? Should I eat something? Should I don't know what? Yes, boss.
Never ask any advice.
Exactly, that's what I do, but more specifically, how can you be more creative? I want to improve my creativity. Tell me how. How? People have been worrying about this from a really, really long time. Gopal Krishna Adiga, again, a very famous poet called as Gopal Krishna Adiga in Kannada. He's not an ordinary poet for us here. We call him as a poet who enlightened an entire generation. Janangada Kannu Teresida Kavi. That's how we call him. The man who enlightened a generation. One of his poems, which I like very much, is Ramanomiya Divasa. Ramanavami is the birthday of Ram, Lord Ram. He explains that. There he analyzes how could Valmiki build a character like Ram. Valmiki built the character, right, of Ram. What should the thought process of Valmiki should have been to build a character? Ram is, what should I say, the ideal character India has ever created. The most idealistic man, not like Krishna. Not me. My namesake Krishna. He's a much more colorful character. Rama is not so colorful. He is very proper, accurate, meticulous in his action. What made Valmiki to create such a character? Gopal Krishna Adiga analyzes. He writes very well. I'll tell in Kannada, and in my limited vocabulary I'll translate that into English. My English is not so great, but anyway. In Kannada the lines are this. Chitta hutta gattade kittitenu Sriramana a divya rupa. It is often told that when Valmiki was meditating, there was ant hill around him. So much was his meditation that he didn't even recognize that ant hill building around him. Here Gopal Krishna Adiga completely reverses the idea. He says that's not physical ant hill which developed around him. He said that's ant hill developed within his mind. Meaning so much was his thought process that he meditated for so long that chitta, it is the mind, the intellect, what we say, the ant hill built within that, and that shaped that ideal character of Rama. Andre, what we are saying is that's Indian way of thinking. If you meditate for long, you will get answer, which all of you keep trying in your evening classes. Good, creative process. Even a person like Buddha and Mahavira and all meditated. Right? Patanjali has, again I am going back to all sub stories, but anyway, Indian philosophy, the process defined is attributed to the Rishi Patanjali. Many people I have to tell this. There is one recent trend which I greatly hate, of using the word yoga and yogasana and Patanjali yoga in all its wrong sense. What Patanjali said is not what we are doing now. What is yoga? I will not go in detail discussing yoga. But what Patanjali said about yoga, he said there are 8 practices. 8 practices. Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. Ashtanga Yoga of Patanjali are these 8 activities. Yama, Niyama means what you should do and what you should not do. Niyama means what you should do. Niyama means what you should do, rules. Yama means what you should not do. Asana means body postures. Pranayama means breath control. Pratyahara means removing your sense from physical objects. Dharana means focusing on any physical object, an idol, a lamp, the symbols like Om and things like that. Dhyana means meditation. Samadhi means nirvana. Patanjali says that anybody who wants to practice yoga should do all this. But what has happened today is twisting your body parts into some funny postures is considered as yogasana. Asana is but a very small aspect in the whole process. And Patanjali, for God's sake, never told about all these asanas. He gave a one-line statement. What is asana? Any body posture which is comfortable to you is asana. That's all. If you are comfortable sitting like this, that is asana. In 18th century came a book called as Hatha Yoga Pradipika. 18th century, which actually described whatever asanas some charismatic babas with long beards and all that teach. That's a very recent edition. That is not yoga, or more clearly, that is not the only aspect of yoga. To do asana, first you have to follow yama and niyama. There are again 8 things which you should do. So why are we discussing all this now? Anyway, forget it. This always happens. Oh, I was telling about the Indian way of improving creativity is to meditate. Dharana, dhyana. But in the Western world also they have come up with many theories, and our good friend in his textbook writes many techniques. Necessarily I don't believe in all of them. For the completeness sake I'll just mention, if you want to follow, you may follow. One technique which I definitely feel is a big block for us to think that, which makes us not to think creative, is to have that feeling in ourselves that we are not creative. The first barrier for us is ourselves. We feel that we are not creative. M.F. Hussain is creative, we are not. Is what we often think. What the gentleman said, that we do have that thing in our mind in subconscious level, but as we grow perhaps we forget it, is not entirely true. Temporarily, as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, it is like a lamp which is covered with a cloth. We do have it within us. You have to just remove that cloth. Understand? So to think that we are not creative is the first sin. Remove that. Set thinking anta Ken Hurst calls us. Set thinking. We have a thinking. We have a thinking that fan should work like this, the lamp should work like this. There is a set thinking in our mind. The moment we break that set thinking, we can be creative. Somebody said aeroplane. The set thinking at that time was humans can't fly. Somebody broke that thinking and said humans can fly. That brought us all those air. Break the set thinking is the first rule. Second, this is a technique which is called brainstorming technique. In corporate circle, this is the buzzword. They love buzzwords. What is brainstorming? Brainstorming is a process wherein a set of people come together and generate as many ideas as possible without criticizing any solution. Just generate solution. Later reduce your solution using convergent thinking. There are 2 ways of thinking that we always do. Divergent and convergent. In brainstorming, we should start with divergent thinking. As many possible ways of solving a problem, then do a convergent thinking. This is brainstorming. One more technique which is told in the textbook is morphological analysis. Morphological analysis is, if I have to give an example, okay, that's what Thomas Alva Edison did. Remember what I told about Thomas Alva Edison? List various things, combine various things which you think is impossible. That is, for example, umbrella. What does umbrella do? What does torch do? Combine the functions of torch and umbrella, you will get a new device which you can use in night times when it is raining. It works as torch as well as umbrella. I am just giving you some weird idea. Something like this. This is morphological thinking. Combining ideas which you think is not at all possible. Other last technique is which what everybody does, taking inspiration from nature around us. Birds fly. We understand how the wings flutter. We still don't know actually, to be very frank. We don't know how birds fly. If we know how birds fly, probably we can build better aircrafts. In fact, there is one category of automobiles called as hovercraft. Have you heard hovercrafts? In fact, Abdul Kalam, it seems when he was in IISc, built a hovercraft. There is this new hovercraft which is built in CMU, which I saw the demo. Very interesting hovercraft. Usually, how do we learn things? How do we learn? Very complex question, but anyway, let me simplify. We learn from observing others. Right? Can machine learn by observing others? In artificial intelligence, in computer science, this question is taken up. There, a very amazing experiment. They kept the hovercraft in an airfield. They did not program anything. The hovercraft was made to observe how helicopters fly, and one day it took off. Such a beautiful thing. It's still an experimental basis. We still don't know how things happen. We are trying to. It's a long, maybe in my lifetime I am not optimistic that I'll see something like that. Machines which learn by themselves. Here in our college, in this seminar hall downstairs, we had a demonstration by a guy from Australia, Indian student from Australia. He gave us a demo of a very interesting experiment which he did of brain-computer interface. That is, you put a gear to your head. We are having that unit now in our college. Put a gear onto your head, which is connected to a robot. There are two boxes there, red and black. You don't instruct the robot to get the red box. No. You focus on the red box. The robot should read your mind signal, go there, get the red box. Guess what it did? So wonderful thing. So brain-computer interface, artificial intelligence are improving. Probably tomorrow, not in my lifetime, but sometime in future we may develop such things. It will be wonderful because we don't know how things work. But anyway, we can see around us for inspiration and try to recreate it. We always do that. Right? So all these things are there which probably you can follow. There are some useless guidelines given also by Ken Hurst. For example, he says, always carry a book and pen along with you. Because if you get some idea, you write it down. I don't believe in such ridiculous ideas. And see, creativity is not something, my personal feeling, not something which can be practiced. If it is there, it is there. Not that it's not there. Everybody will have it, but some people believe that they have it, some people believe that they don't have it. Everybody has creativity. Everybody can become creative. Only thing is you have to believe in yourself and try to manifest that creativity in some way. You won't see, just by thinking that I am creative, I don't become creative, right? I have to put it in some way. My earnest request to all of you as I close my today's talk, kindly perceive you are ideal target group for me because you have just entered engineering. What I see when I go to senior students is that they have lost that flame in them. Maybe 2-3 years of stay in an engineering college makes them really dull. But you are not that dull. You are still fresh. All of you will have a thought, a dream, a goal on what you should do in engineering. Like for example, when I joined engineering, I very famously thought that I will create this software which, if I say I want a program to sort 10 numbers, it will write a program. I should not say how, I should say what it should solve. I entered with a dream and I have progressed much. I know all of you will have a dream, every one of you, to do something. If you think it is impossible, that means you have taken the first step. When Brain and Larry Wall, the founders of Google, they started with the intention of downloading the entire internet onto their desktop so that they can search. Their professor, Professor Motwani, he was from India. He died in unfortunate circumstances last year. He said, this is a ridiculous idea, but go ahead. That is what all of you should do. If you think you have a ridiculous idea, go ahead and try. Great stuff in this world are done only by such thinking. For example, I was telling to someone that time has come today for someone to think that we have to sell oxygen in departmental stores. It may look very ridiculous idea, but believe me, before 10 years when someone said that drinking water will be sold in bottles, I said it's ridiculous. But it's reality today. All the things we see today at a point of time were said to be insane, not possible. See what has happened today. So my earnest request to all you fellow students is to think about such ridiculous idea in science, technology and engineering. You have a fruitful stay here for 4 years. We in the college have the resources. It's not an ordinary college that you are in. We have enough resources. We have people. We have facilities. Try to realize your dream. It is not impossible. Do you know about AK's test for primality? All of you know how to write a program to find whether a number is prime or not, correct? But do you know that's a flawed logic? What do? Keep on dividing the number till you reach half of that number. It is ridiculous, because give a very large number. The largest known prime number, if I print it in sheet, it will grow up to this size. If I want to test the next number whether it is prime or not, what will I do? Our method of working is not correct. This was an unsolved problem in mathematics. 3 undergraduate students in 4th semester IIT Kharagpur took up this challenge and gave this basic principle to test whether a number is prime or not. It's today called AK's test, named after all the 3 guys. Unsolved puzzle which was solved by engineering students from India, normal 4th semester students of computer science. Well, by the way, they won 10 lakhs Infosys Science Award and I don't know what, so many. They won King's Medal also, which is one of the highest award in mathematics. It's not that you can't, every one of us can. Only thing is you should keep that spirit going, and first you should believe in yourself. If you do that, probably that will be great. Okay? So I stop my lecture on creativity here, hoping that all of you will become more creative.